Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to finally complete my fifth gear nut fix. My new nut just came in. If you saw my last video on how to fix your fifth gear nut issue, you saw that I didn't actually get to finish my fix because my old nut, the threads were all chewed up. And then also with these shims, I don't know why there's this bigger shim on there. Maybe there's a reason, could be a different kit or whatever. This shim came with the nut that I just bought, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this in and call it good. I won't use these. And then also I'm going to show you guys how to replace your output shaft seal, which is right here. This is where your output shaft goes. This is the back of your tail housing. Transfer case bolts onto this part right here. Alright guys, so I got my case flipped over now. You can see the seal down there. What I'm going to try to do is use this 1 3/4 socket, which fits just perfectly inside the case and then onto the seal itself. And I'm going to use the extension and just see if it'll come out when I beat it with the hammer here. Perfect. That came out really nice. There it is right there. There's the old seal. And I'm just going to use a little bit of my gear lube I'm going to put in my transmission once I complete the job. We'll just put a little bit on the seal here. Okay, that should work pretty good. Okay, just going to line this up. Make sure you get it the right way. This is obviously the back facing inside the transmission. We got to make sure we get it to go nice and evenly. Just going to give it some light taps with my hammer. And it's going in really easy, so you don't have to hit it too hard. Alright guys, that's basically all there is to it. Really helpful to have an 1 3/4 socket laying around. Works pretty good for that. I'll just put a little bit of lube on the inside on the rubber here. Alright, so underneath the pickup, I'm going to put my new shim and my new nut on along with my fifth gear fix. I'm going to start out with the shim. I'm going to put that on first. Up against that gear there. Then I'm going to start threading my nut on. Make sure you get it the right way. You want this flange side facing you or the back of the pickup, and then this flat side up against the shim, which is up against the gear. Now I already can tell with this nut, if you saw my last video, I could move my nut back and forth. The threads are good on this new one. Obviously I can't move it. If your nut does back off, you do have to replace it because chances are your threads got messed up. So just keep that in mind. So at this point I'm ready to start actually tightening my nut, and I don't have the tool for it. So I'm going to do what most guys do and use a chisel and beat the chisel with the hammer and torque this baby on. Okay guys, so I got my nut tightened on to the point where I'm pretty comfortable that it's pretty tight. I was giving this bottom one here some pretty good whack with my bigger chisel and it was hardly moving. So now we'll just put the retainer on, and you got to kind of line your nut up to the point where it's going to match the feet on the retainer. So you can see there I need to try one more spline. And if that doesn't work, you might need to tighten your nut a little bit more just so it can get into that sweet spot. And then the feet should just go right into the nut, like so. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up some of this old gasket material, and I'll put my back cover back on my transmission, and that should do it for this video. And there's two alignment tabs, so you'll know when you got it on. Alright, so my tail housing is on. It went pretty well. You can see my gasket maker kind of peeking out there. So what I'm going to do is let the gasket maker sit overnight and seal, and then I'll fill the transmission up with oil. Let that sit for maybe a day or two just to make sure I got no leaks before I start putting my transfer case back in my drive shafts. And guys, real quick, I just wanted to show you how to get this mount for your transmission back on your cross member. Just use a jack, floor jack, like if you saw my last video how I used the jack to jack it up off the cross member. Use a jack to get it high enough so you can slip this piece in, and then put your 2 bolts up there, loose of course, and then put your 2 bolts on the bottom. Don't tighten anything, release the jack. Once it all settles down, then start tightening all 4 of them. Alright guys, so thank you for watching my video and make sure to subscribe.